The past few years have been an absolute nightmare for Disney and for Bob Iger, losing billions of dollars, not just at the box office, but also on streaming. Bob Iger being forced to admit that there's a problem, that they're not making good movies, that they're losing money hand over fist, and how quickly things can change in this industry, an industry that Disney has dominated for the past decade. All of a sudden, their crown has been taken away from them. Last year, we were talking about this, about the fact that Universal has been dominating Disney when it comes to animated movies. Things like Despicable Me and the Minions movies, and of course, at this point, what was the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie. And even though Disney had been dominant when it came to family animated movies over the last decade plus, that was no longer the case. And they had lost to Universal 3 straight years. Well, now it's a 4th year, but not just with animation. Now, Universal has completely taken down Disney on a global level. Disney loses top spot at box office to Universal as woke flops pile up. Take a look at this from The Hollywood Reporter. 2023 box office. Disney, I guess, needed one more L for 2023. Disney cedes global market share crown to Universal after years of domination. Universal's releases generated almost $5 billion in movie ticket sales at the global box office, compared to $4.82 billion for Disney. Universal's film empire has taken a major bow after placing number 1 in the market share, a feat no studio has been able to pull off since Disney rose to dominance in 2016. So think about that. With the MCU and Star Wars, all this shit that's coming out, Disney has held that crown since 2016. That is no longer the case. The woke flops have piled up. And now it is true that Disney right up there, right? Disney nearly took the crown despite all the problems they've had this year. The big problem for Disney is not necessarily this final number, $4.82 billion. The problem is how much they're spending on these movies, that even their biggest movies of the year, only one of them broke even. Only Guardians of the Galaxy. That is the only thing that broke even for them at the box office, and that was barely breaking even. Everything else has been a loss for them. They've lost over $1.3 billion at the box office when you factor in the theatrical cut, when you factor in what they spent on marketing. That's the real problem that Disney has. And the article would kind of go on to say, Universal released 24 movies this year. Disney released 17 movies this year. And kind of, we think that might have been a factor. Yeah, of course it was a factor in the overall number that they got at the box office. But the difference for Universal is they have far fewer of these massive, big-budget tentpole movies, and they have a lot more smaller movies that actually generated a profit and didn't lose money for them compared to Disney. It is just one more sign that Disney has truly fallen off, that they can't rely on things like the MCU anymore, that they can't rely on their garbage live-action remakes, flops like Little Mermaid, flops like The Marvels, flops like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, things that they're spending $250 to over $300 million on just to produce, not including the marketing, that can't bring back that revenue. Despite what a bad year 2022 was with the stock cratering, with all these things, 2023 arguably was much worse. They thought they were getting back on track. They no longer had any excuse for COVID this, COVID that, and it was a complete and total bomb. Nearly every movie they put out lost money for them. And now, not only that, they don't even get the crown at the box office. Universal made a much bigger profit than Disney. There's no doubt about that. Just things like Oppenheimer, things like Super Mario Brothers, movies that only cost $100 million to produce, plus whatever they spent on marketing, that Oppenheimer nearly hit $1 billion. And of course, Super Mario Brothers sitting at 1.3 billion. Those are just some of the ways that this studio was much more profitable than Disney this year, in addition to taking away that box office crown. Things just continue to get worse for Disney in every aspect of their business. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.